Hi, my name is George Alger, and welcome to another segment of Our Ventura TV. Today's guest is Tammy Glenn, who is the Executive Director of the nonprofit group Caregivers, which is volunteers assisting the elderly. Welcome, Tammy.
Hi, George. Thank you.
So let's get down to the most fundamental question. What is Caregivers?
Well, Caregivers is one of the original pilot programs for volunteer caregiving in the nation. We were founded in 1984 by the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet, along with about 24 other pilot programs that were experimenting with the idea of community-based caregiving.
Wow, okay, so it's a national group.
Well, we're a local-based, we serve Ventura County organization, but when the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation funded the pilot programs, they funded several across the country. So about half of those have survived. We are one of the strongest, and I think a real jewel in Ventura County.
Great. Now, how is it that you yourself evolved into this role?
Well, I actually came out of major gift fundraising. I worked in a university setting for many years as a fundraiser, and transitioned back in 2010, 2011, and I was hired as the executive director just in January of 2012.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So explain a little bit more, what is the activities of Caregivers?
So the idea of the organization is really a very simple one. It's based on the idea of a neighborly deed. And a neighborly deed could be helping someone prepare dinner, play a game of cards, make a phone call. Are you doing okay today? Do you need a ride to the doctor? Just visiting, simple visiting. So many of our seniors are isolated and sometimes homebound, and their families may not be living nearby, or they may not have family left. And so a neighbor steps in and gives about 2 to 4 hours a week of neighborly deeds, and they make a huge difference in a senior's ability to stay living independently in their home.
Good. Now, how do you guys make these connections between elderly that might be interested and volunteers that might like to donate their time?
Well, usually a phone call comes into the office, and it's often a senior in need. And so we take a look at what the senior's needs are, and we work with about 140 programs in Ventura County that do all kinds of things, from providing food, providing transportation, you name it, and we probably can find a resource for it. And then we're very fortunate. We have volunteers who step up and offer their time, and they come in and they interview, and we actually try to make a match between the senior and the volunteer. And we've been doing this since 1984, so some of the matches we've made actually go back 20 years now.
Wow.
It's more than a friendship, it becomes a family to many of the seniors and many of the volunteers. Good.
Now, is there any qualifications or criteria that you are required for a senior to participate?
So how we define senior these days, George, is I don't really understand it, but for us it's 60 and over. I started getting the ARP notices when I was 45, so but for us it's 60 and over, and we provide non-medical, non-professional support. So we take a close look at what the seniors' needs are and make sure they're going to be a good match for that model of a neighborly deed.
Okay, cool. And then for the volunteers who are donating their time, is there some criteria that they need to meet for them to be able to fulfill that role?
Our seniors are all adults. Well, not all of them. I'll tell you about that in a second. But 18 and over. They come in and they interview with us, and every volunteer that works with us goes through a live scan or a background check. So we're very careful about screening. Our volunteers often will be in a position where they're driving somebody to the doctor, or whatever. We just want to make sure that it's a good match and somebody comes from a good background. And I can tell you that our volunteers are every shape, size, personality. I think they all share compassion, and they're very generous of heart. So So that's what you'll find in a Caregivers volunteer, and we have about 300 and some odd and growing now, going into 30 years. So
nice. Okay, now I know you have a number of events that occur throughout the year. Could you speak to that?
Well, probably I think our oldest event that we do is our annual Wearing of the Green, and it's always held over St. Patrick's Day weekend, on or about. We do a golf tournament at Ventura Golf Course, and then we recently added a huli event. And a huli is an Irish shindig, a big Irish party, and it's really a big fundraiser for caregivers. So we're fortunate. We have a wonderful partner in Ventura South Rotary that helps organize and put that event together for the benefit of the organization. And we just have a lot of fun. Wear your green and come on out any spring for that event. And then we do another event annually called our Evening of Gratitude, and that's geared toward our volunteers. And we usually do a dessert reception and some type of art event. It started with New West Symphony, and so they would do a dress rehearsal event for our volunteers, and it just gives everybody a chance to get together and celebrate good work in the community.
Good. And then when you're out meeting folks in a personal or professional capacity, what is the main questions that people ask you when they hear about caregivers?
Well, I think they're interested to know, how do we survive in the county? I mean, we're probably about 4% of our funding comes from public sources. The rest of it is all privately funded.
Wow.
And so, thanks to good donors, we're able to sustain this model and grow it. I don't know if you know this, but Ventura County has one of the largest senior populations in the country. One of them.
Did not know that.
So Florida certainly vies for that position. And in California, we boast one of the oldest populations, seniors that are 85 and over.
Wow.
So, and people always say, well, why Ventura County? I think it might be the weather, because it's so beautiful to live here. And quite frankly, we've got just a great network of support for seniors. What a wonderful place to grow old, and look and know that we have hundreds of people that are volunteering to give their time in neighborly deeds and help a senior out, and it's a beautiful place to live.
Good. Now, if someone had an inkling they might like to at least find out more about becoming a volunteer, or they want to look into it, walk me through the process. How does this occur, where someone has an idea they might want to help, and then what they might end up doing?
Well, they might want to just check on our website, which is www.vccaregivers.org, vccaregivers with an s.org, and that has quite a bit of information on it about our seniors and volunteerism, and then give the office a call and make an appointment. You'll come in and meet with our staff and spend probably 45 minutes to an hour, and we really try to get to know each of our volunteers. And again, we're matching someone one-on-one with a senior, and we want that to be a relationship that endures the test of time. So we look for something to build a friendship on. And so after we spend a little bit of time with the volunteer candidate, getting to know them, we find out what community they live in, because we also want to match with a senior who's nearby. We want it to be convenient for those two people to build a relationship. And then if everything's going well and the volunteer candidate wants to move forward, we send them for a live scan background check, which we pay for. There's no cost to the volunteer. It usually takes 2 or 3 weeks to get that back. And then once we have that in hand, we'll go through the list of seniors. Traditionally, we've had about 50 or 60 seniors on a waiting list, and we'll look for who might be a good match. About 20% of the seniors that we serve are veterans, so sometimes it's nice to match a veteran with a veteran. Someone might have relocated from across the country, and maybe they share some hometown roots together. We try to be sensitive about things like that.
Good. Could you speak to some of the benefits that any of the volunteers themselves might have realized in the process of connecting up with folks and continuing to maintain relationships with seniors?
Well, I can think of several volunteers, one in particular that stands out, and she'd lost her mother, and she was really feeling that loss, and she gave Caregivers a call and became a volunteer. And the woman that she was matched with really filled a huge void in her heart, and they've been together for well over a decade now. So, I would say the number one benefit is the friendships that I see built between our seniors and our volunteers are extraordinary. They're very special relationships. Good. And then you had a story about how it is that you became involved with Caregivers. Yes, I feel so blessed to be leading this organization. I feel like my professional life just collided with my personal life. When I was about 8 years old, my mother had an accident, and it left her disabled from head to toe, and my father and I became her primary caregivers for the next 17, 18 years of her life. So caregiving, I was an informal caregiver growing up, and it just seemed such a natural for me to take on this organization and bring my business skills to it. I love what I do. I love getting up every day. I have trouble leaving it at night. I really understand when people call in and they're struggling to care for their parent or their spouse. I get it. I've been there. It's hard. It's really hard to do. And so when I see volunteers step up, and sometimes life takes a turn with the senior that you're serving, and we've had volunteers that have been with their seniors through end of life, and they are amazing. They come back and they volunteer again and again and again. Wow. It's a really, I work with the most wonderful people. I can't imagine being anywhere else. Wow. All right, well, we're kind of winding down the show here, but I wonder if you could repeat the website so people could find out more. And then, is there any final message or a summating message that you would like to convey to the viewers? Well, the Caregivers is just a jewel for us here in Ventura County, and thanks to this model, there are about 600 other small volunteer caregiving organizations that are in various stages of growth across the country. So we've done a really good job here in Ventura County, and I'm proud to be one of the leaders in this movement of volunteer caregiving. There's lots of ways to get involved. If someone's not up to being a one-on-one volunteer with a senior, we have lots of events, from our Wearing of the Green to our Evening of Gratitude. We do a fantastic sail-a-thon every fall, and I'll look for our Ugly Fish mascot. He surfaces sometime toward the end of summer, and he's quite the little character promoting the work that we do. So you can volunteer in an event. We have students who come volunteer in the office. Yeah, check us out. Our website is www.vc, like Ventura County, caregivers with an S.org, and that's vccaregivers.org, or give us a call, 805-658-8530. I'm happy to meet you and introduce you to a wonderful world of volunteer caregiving. Thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you so much, George. This is George Alger signing off for this segment of Our Ventura TV. Until we see you again.